Good morning, everyone. My name is Janelle Breeze-Biagioni, also known as the Hope Generator. You can find me at janellebb.com. You can find me on Facebook under the Hope Generator, Twitter as well. Just wanted to have a chat with you today about being a good neighbor. So my work primarily is a grief and loss counselor, and I work with people who suffered a catastrophic injury and or who have had a death in their family. So that's pretty heavy stuff. But the other side of that, particularly with people who have suffered a brain injury, is about integrating them into community and ensuring that they have good connections where they're living, that people know who they are, that they can be established in local businesses as a customer and be able to find their way through the community. So that's important. And then going through that is, I've always had this interest in community building. And so how do we build strong, healthy communities, resilient communities that are thriving and enjoyable for people to live in? And in part, our structure, the landscape of neighborhoods looks quite different than, years ago when I was a child and where there was lots of green space. And now we have, lots of multiple dwellings and apartments and social housing, and there's lots of things to consider. So I'm interested in how we build good neighbor-to-neighbor connections, particularly for people who are isolated in some way, whether they're a senior, they are somebody with a disability, they are someone living in social housing and dealing with addictions or mental health. Those are all of interest to me. So, but for today, I want to just talk in general about being a good neighbor and what does that mean. Everybody knows what it is to be a bad neighbor. We've all experienced that, where we've had that cranky person yell at our kids or grandkids because they step foot on the lawn, or, they're just not nice people to be around. So you withdraw from them, you don't engage with them, you look the other way when you see them. That's a bad neighbor. We know what that is. For a good neighbor, when you ask people, often they'll say, well, I'm a good neighbor. I'm quiet and I keep to myself and I don't bother anybody. Well, yes, that makes you a good neighbor. Also makes you a nondescript neighbor too. What I'm talking about is engagement. And because we all have a sense of responsibility to ensure that we have, pride in our community and our neighborhoods and that we are thriving. So what does it take to be a good neighbor? So here's my ABCs on being a good neighbor. A is for being accessible and approachable. So that doesn't mean that you have to, park yourself on your neighbor's doorstep and be the one to fix everything and all of that. It's about lifting your eyes up when you're outside. Look to your left, look to your right, look to the street, say hello to the person at your mailboxes, eventually introduce yourself, then eventually have a little conversation. Build a small relationship. It doesn't have to be huge, but build that connection so you know who's in your neighborhood and who belongs there. And certainly if there's an emergency, this would be somebody that you could go to and they could come to you. So A is for be accessible and approachable. B is for be bold and be brave. And this is about leadership in your neighborhood. So if you have a concern about crime in the area and you feel that Block Watch may be a good thing to explore for your neighbors, then be the one to get out there and organize that. Invite people in, talk to the local police department, find out how you go about doing that. If you feel that just your neighborhood, the boulevard is kind of, needs to be cleaned up, or maybe, some painting has to be done or something, or maybe you're a neighborhood that has a high population of small children and the traffic is pretty fast paced, then make sure that you get out there and organize people, bring them together and say, I'm concerned about this. What can we do? So be bold, be brave. That does not mean that you have to be the one to be the leader all the time. That's not about that, but it is about having some leadership and taking initiative and being motivated to follow through on that. So be bold and be brave. C is for caring and considerate. So of course, when you're walking your dog, make sure you're picking up any packages that may be left on the neighbor's lawn. But also, if you see the wind blowing, they're recycling around, go and pick it up for them. If you see their garbage can is blowing around, pick it up for them. If your garbage has blown into the neighbor's lawn, just go over and pick up your own garbage. So be kind, be caring, and be considerate. Smile, say hello. If you're a person who likes to do a lot of outdoor stuff, if you're doing, some kind of construction or building, or you work on cars and you've got engines revving, be respectful of the time, whether it's early morning on the weekends or late at night, just be caring and considerate. So that's the ABCs of being a good neighbor. Approachable and accessible, bold and brave, and caring and considerate. So get out there and give it a whirl. Say hi to somebody in your neighborhood that you've never said hello to before, and start that engagement and see how it makes you feel. Okay, everybody. So again, you can find me at JanelleBB.com. I have a book listed there, Life Losses, Healing for a Broken Heart. You can also order this from Amazon.com. Go there, and this book is filled with lots of information about integrating loss in your life. So look forward to chatting with you all again tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye now.